opinion becomes news. The David Undayi Obidient controversy. It began like an ordinary day on X. An Obidient user, Nefertiti, had shared a tweet referencing US Senator Ted Cruz's remarks on religious killings in Nigeria, connecting it to the political consciousness of the Obidient movement. David Undayi replied saying, "You know that APC fellow who said obedience creates scenarios in their heads and rejoice over imaginary victories. He wasn't entirely wrong. You people are so depressing." That single sentence lit up the internet. Within hours, mainstream media, especially TVC News, lifted the exchange straight off social media and ran it as breaking news. Headlines screamed, "David Undayi distances himself from obedience." The story trended. Blogs copied it. Comment section filled with mockery. But here is the issue. Undayi never said he was leaving the movement. He offered criticism, but the media translated it as defection. This shows how Nigerian media, especially politically aligned outlets, can spin a single opinion into a political statement just to create a narrative. Undayi eventually responded. In its words, "You people want this nonsense to be true so badly that even TVC News reported it as if an opinion I tweeted is national news." That was part of his clarification. But let's be clear. This wasn't about one man's tweet. This was about a political ecosystem that is threatened by a people-driven movement. They needed a symbol of division, and Undayi's criticism became their headline. But the logic is weak. How can someone distance themselves from a movement that doesn't even have a formal membership structure? The Obedient movement is not a political party. It is a consciousness, a collective frustration that found its voice in Peter Obi's campaign. Unlike APC or PDP, where hierarchy detects loyalty, the Obedients have always said clearly, we don't have a leader, we have a cause. So when media houses portray a critical tweet as a political defection, it exposes their desperation. They want to discredit what they cannot control. They want to shape public perception that the movement is collapsing because that comforts the status quo. But here is what they forget. Obedience thrive on disagreement. That's something traditional parties can relate to because in their world, criticism is betrayal. But in the movement powered by the people, criticism is how the movement evolves. So what does this entire episode teach us? That in Nigeria today, headlines are often written before the facts are checked, and that people, especially those outside the obedience space, are so eager to see Peter Obi's supporters give up, because the movement reminds them of the power citizens actually hold. But you can't distance yourself from an idea that lives in millions of minds. You can't silence a movement that wasn't built on hierarchy. It breathes through debate, and it stands firm through truth. It's a truth at a time. Take care and have a nice day.